What's up, everyone? It's Matt with Forgotten Icons Garage. Welcome back. It's been a while. It's been almost a month since I put anything out because of my day job and just life stuff kind of happening. We have some big news. New bike is finally here, or new old bike, right? New Forgotten Icon bike is here. It's right there. You can't see it. We'll get there in just a second. So a couple of updates. First, ZX-10 didn't go anywhere, right? No surprise there. Love this thing. Probably never going to go anywhere. In fact, people are probably getting tired of seeing it as the main feature. I don't know what to tell you. It's awesome. I love riding it. Love everything about it, almost. A couple of minor things. And then, oh man, I say I get into turns of freaking lie detector tests determined that was a lie. All right. Anyways. So yes, I'm back in town, and actually this is a short trip home. I'll be back on the road next week, home again for a week, and then out for 2 weeks, some international travel. So trying to fit in where I can get stuff in and get you guys some of this content. I appreciate the engagement. It's been kind of going up, people asking questions, poking at me a little bit, which is part of the fun, right? I guess that's part of the deal of pretending like you know something about motorcycles, which I don't really know a lot. I'm learning, and I'm having a good time learning. And as I've said before, I'm definitely not a mechanic, so that's the other part. I think I joked on this bike. I think I changed like the grips and the oil. I don't know. Oh, and the cowl. That was a very tough install. Okay, so give me some credit. No, I've said it plenty of times. Proven Power put this thing together. They did a phenomenal job on it. But yeah, not a mechanic. Anyhow, so what I want to do real quick is kind of recap where we've been so far and kind of where we're going. So we started out with a 99 ZX-7. I had it for a couple months. I needed some carb work pretty seriously. I had it worked on for quite a while, had the carbs fully rebuilt. Still couldn't quite get it dialed in. And so I rehomed that one to a guy that like basically tore the motor apart, and he's been doing crazy work on it, getting it squared away. So that was definitely a little bit more of a project than I could get into, certainly with my schedule. But I'm excited to watch this dude put it together. He's pretty awesome. If he decides to share his content, I'll make sure to share it on here so people can reach out to him or follow that bike's progress, because it's pretty cool to see. He's an interesting cat, just getting his hands dirty, kind of making it happen. Then I picked up this bike. Again, 05, one owner, 5,000 miles when I bought it. It's about 6,000 now. Coming up on a year, so not really a ton of miles, to be honest, but my schedule just kind of doesn't permit a ton of miles. That's, kind of part of the fun there. And then the next bike was the ZX-9. Got that from a private collection, a guy, warehouse of cool stuff. That was a fun bike. Again, excuse me. Oh, I hate that. So that was a fun bike. And it's just one of those things. So it was a 94, another low miles bike. I think it didn't even have 15,000 until I got it and rolled over. And I sent that to another guy with a collection. He had a bunch of carb bikes. And for those, the intent was really just to have a couple to kind of gauge, some kind of reference for carbureted bikes. I know that's a pretty minuscule amount based on how many there were. So I had that 94 ZX-9, really fun bike. The thing felt like torque forever. Had the Yoshimura RS5 on it, or RS3, excuse me, and that thing sounded really good. Again, sent that to another collector. But yeah, there's so many car bikes, and my intent really wasn't to document every car bike ever. It was kind of just to get a little bit of a capture and understanding of kind of where some of these super bikes came from, and then how they got to kind of where we're at now. So that was really the intent there. Rehomed that bad boy, and I picked up the 05 CBR 1000. Another interesting bike. So when I got it, I had a cracked fairing. I replaced the fairing with a Honda OEM part, and in my non-mechanical genius skills, what I did was it kind of has a part right here. This is where it was cracked on the other one. I tried to straighten it out instead of just buying a new mounting tab. Long story short, after a few weeks, it stress cracked again. Actually, up here on this one. So not much I could really do. It's super disappointing. I had already planned on not keeping it forever, but that kind of did hinder the margin on that bike because as far as I know, that might have been the last OEM mid-fairing that you could get for CBR 1000. It was black with the silver arrow. I had to get it from the Netherlands, so that wasn't great. But kind of live and learn type of moment, right? Like I knew I probably shouldn't have forced it on there, and I still did it, and I had to pay for that literally by not getting the profit out of that bike after doing some brake upgrades and the flush, the levers, the small aesthetics that I did to it to kind of expect to see a little bit of return. Pretty much completely wiped. Certainly that fairing price was annihilated any sort of profit. So it's kind of how it is. And then so what I've been doing since then, I moved that bike. I was looking at a couple. And I've been spending a ton of time on Marketplace. So I don't know if you guys shop Marketplace. I'm certain that you do because it's kind of where everyone goes. Man, that can be frustrating. I had a couple of bikes that like I thought for sure I was going to pick up, and guys backed out like the day of, or can't find the title the day of kind of stuff. And I'm just like, ooh, man, kind of crushing when you think that like you have a plan. Because as I look at the bikes, I also work out a strategy, right? Like, what am I going to do with this bike? What's the intent for it with the channel? Is it going to stay for a while? How am I going to compare it? How am I going to ride it? That kind of stuff. And so to spend the reps, the hours to try to, figure out a strategy on how I can bring a piece into the inventory, how I can leverage it and market it, all those kind of things. And then for it to just kind of die on the vine is super disappointing. So that is the fun, I guess, of Marketplace. The actual upside, though, is that you just have such an easy opportunity to reach out to people for free. Like, I don't have to spend a bunch of time like going to a dealership. I can just send someone a message. Hey, give me the details. How many, this standard stuff you'd think, and sometimes shoot them a softball offer without seeing it, depending on how it looks, on how it's presented online. If you do sell in there, recommend you try to take as many stickers as you can off, clean it up. If it's stretched, maybe put it back to stock geometry. Those kind of things, like people knock the price down. To you, you probably think it's an improvement. Unfortunately, it's not really how the market responds. And I'll probably get some hate for that, but I don't know what to tell you, man. That's how it goes. So, all that to say, and I think I keep saying all that to say. I'll have to work on that. So, sold the CBR, finally found some bikes. I'm out of town in Colorado Springs, hop online, I'm just looking. Find a bike that's literally like my neighbor, 10 minutes away. The other bikes I was looking on, so I'm in Tampa area, other bikes, Daytona, and further south to like Miami. And I'm searching, trying to find the right deal, and I find the bike that I ended up getting 10 minutes away. And so that was pretty cool. And so I'll tell you the story on that bike as I slide over here in just a moment to present it to you. See you there. All right, so here it is, a 2007 ZX-6R. This is the 599 homologated motor for racing, right? The 636 kind of couldn't compete, it's too big. So every couple of years, Kawasaki would switch back to 599 up until I think 2013 or 14, maybe 15. Someone certainly will correct me. But the 07-08 generation was the last year that Kawasaki has ever done an undertail exhaust. And this one is all OEM. So full OEM, stock pipe, mid pipe, header, everything. You got levers, mirrors, lights. I think the only change is the undertail and some grips, and typical Forgotten Icons faction, we're gonna change that a little bit. So previously, I did not have any partners on these builds, and that is going to change. I am very fortunate, I would say extremely humbled, to have a couple of strong, prominent vendors, or manufacturers, I should say, in the bike life world, right, that are excited to help me out on this build, which is awesome for me because this is very expensive, as everyone knows. And so I just feel super grateful that, the time that I'm putting into this is kind of gaining some momentum and people can see, the value. So I'm not going to go through the partners yet, I don't think. What I'm going to do is just talk about the intent of the build. So what I'm going to go with is a little bit more track inspired, which I know kind of sounds crazy. It's a ZX-6 599. But I want to kind of get the best out of it that you can for the street, if that makes sense. So some stuff I'm not going to do, and some stuff I am. I'm not going to go as crazy as I went on the ZX-10 because they're kind of two different builds. That one was, kind of bolt-on power. What can I get for street ability? This one's going to be kind of more like rideability, if that makes sense. So kind of changing the geometry a little bit and getting it, kind of a little bit more exciting to ride, which actually I've ridden this bike a little bit, not a lot, because I'm waiting on products from the sponsors. And so I just want to keep it literally as is. I don't want to risk anything happening to it before I get to, do my part of good faith with these companies that have actually jumped on to support the bike. So I'm kind of dying to ride it, to be honest with you. I did 2 rides on it, and I've had it for about a week. So it's kind of getting to me. I'm probably going to take my 10 out almost as soon as I'm done recording this. My kid's asleep, so I can't pop on and rev this up yet. I will, but I can't in this recording. So that's kind of it. I mean, definitely what we're doing is headers. I'm debating on the undertail if I'm going to go with a different slip-on. The reason being is that there's only a couple, and I can't really decide which one to do, to be honest with you. And I really like how the stock one looks. So I may see if I put a catless header on there, how does it actually sound and ride? Maybe still dyno tune it like that, and maybe go from there. Kind of depends. I could potentially be swayed if you have a slip-on that you want to send me. But right now I'm still kind of debating. Certainly going to do levers. I have a partner for that. I have a partner for the grips. I have a partner for the throttle. I have a partner for the headers. They actually got fabricated in one day by a company that is amazing, and I'm going to give them a ton of props when it comes in, so I don't want to ruin the surprise yet. And I think there's one more, at least one. Grips, throttle, levers, headers. I've had a couple companies bring me on as a full-on partner, which is super crazy. We'll talk about some of that as I can. Man, I don't want to leave anyone out, but I guess I'm not naming names, so I don't have to feel too terrible. But I'm super stoked, to be honest with you. My garage, this is Tampa, Florida. I'm cooking right now, so I'm going to wrap this up shortly. Here's what I'll tell you about it. Can't start it, like I said, kids in bed. 16,000 miles. So still pretty low for an 07. I'll probably keep it fairly low. I kind of have some plans. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I still would like to do, probably going to do custom brake lines, clutch cables, and a stabilizer. I haven't figured out what routes I'm going to go for those yet. So if you have recommendations, everyone knows I did the Corboto lines and the GPR stabilizer on my ZX-10. That turned out awesome. I'm not opposed to doing that again. I just kind of, keeping my options open as I'm still putting this together. But yeah, so this is it. Beautiful bike. I'll do a quick walk around on it so you guys can kind of check out the whole thing. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate these sponsors that I'll announce as I kind of get some stuff going on the build. Cheers.